So a couple of weeks ago, I fitted Geraint for a driver and we filmed the process, which loads and loads of you watched. The views were far better than I expected, so thank you so much for that. So today, he just came in to pick up his driver and we wanted to double check how good was the fitting. Is the strike pattern still going to be good and the numbers still going to be as good? So I just turned on the camera. Unfortunately, he didn't have loads of time, so it wasn't like set all the mics up and lights and cameras and everything. I just put one camera on him. So I'm going to show you all of the shots we hit and just to see how good was my fitting. So Geraint hadn't really played or practiced since the fit-in, so straight in, hit maybe 10-15 shots with an iron just to warm up, and then straight into the driver setup that we spec'd for him from the fit-in. So that was TSR 3, 8-degree head, sleeve set in C3, so playing 8.75, so slightly turned up, 0.75 upright as well, 10 AV blue 55, regular standard length with no weight in the head, which again is only an 8 gram in the TSR 3 anyway, but absolutely no weight in the head. So straight into drive number 1. And yeah, he hit a great drive straight out the bat, slightly down the left side, but brilliant distance, pretty much almost up there with the max distance that we saw in the fitting as well, which is great to see. Tiny bit toey strike, but really good numbers, 15 launch, 2200 backspin. Yeah, absolutely love that. Shot 2 wasn't quite as good, to be fair, but still, from a results perspective, 225 down the middle of the fairway. Yeah, a little bit low in the neck, which again for TSR 3, an unforgiving head, fantastic result. Again, not unhappy with that drive. 233 in the fairway. Again, it was a little bit heely, but really good launch and spin from that heel strike and really good efficiency. It was the only thing we did see, a couple of heel strikes creeping in from time to time with this, this setup. That one there, pretty standard little fade for Geraint, pretty nice. Strike much better, much more centered. Couple of mil low, but really, really good. Again, lovely little fade, really nice. Would not be upset with that. Again, tiny bit heel side, but on the equator. Again, really good. Again, there's no shots taken out whatsoever, back to back. But again, slightly heel side, but love that it's just above the equator. Really good launch and spin, good distance. Again, I mean, he just doesn't miss with this thing. Even though strike may stray a little bit off center, it's just so straight with it. Again, 230 down the middle. Lovely strike pattern, really starting to dot again near that center. So here, talking about dispersion, really, really happy with the dispersion. The only thing I did notice was on average, the spin was creeping a little bit higher than I'd like to see. Probably due a little bit of that heel strike, to be fair. So I'm turning it from 8.75 down to 8 and 1.5 upright. So just going to see if that's going to knock off a tiny bit of that spin. Straight out the bat with a fantastic shot. Again, creeping up to this high 230s, which we know is super optimal for him. Straight out the middle as well, fantastic. Even though it was out the middle, it's still a tiny bit more launch and spin than I'd like, 16 and 26, but really good numbers, really good drive. Getting shot 2, nice little fade. Don't hate that. Wasn't quite as good a strike, but again, just a little bit necky. He was, did have a habit of a couple of neck shots that day, but again, a really good result. Again, decent little fade. One thing we did see, obviously with the 8-degree, with the face being less closed, it did start to get a little bit more right-sided, but great strike. Again, really nice, really good drive. Fantastic. 239 down the middle. Love it. Again, strike pattern. I really don't hate seeing that high. Nice high launch, low backspin, created really good distance. And again, pretty good dispersion. Couple leaking down the right side, but again, he does hit a little bit of a fade and none of them are hurting him at all. Again, lovely little fade, 210 carry. Really nice. 230 probably in the fairway, and again that strike pattern now coming much more central on average, if anything slightly higher of the equator, which is great. Little bit more fade than I'd like to see, but still probably might catch a piece of the fairway. Reasonable distance, not his best, but again strike pretty damn good. Yeah, really good last drive here, solid. Down the middle, 230, beauty. Again, even a little bit toey, but fantastic numbers. Really don't mind that. Again, everything sort of on the equator or above the equator. 15 launch, 23 backspin, love it. So when we really start to look at the numbers, the 8.75 compared to the 8, I mean, there's not really much in it. We see a little bit less spin, tiny bit, but launch a little bit higher. And those characteristics are really coming from those couple of high strikes on the head. That's exactly what it will do, which is why I really don't mind it for Geraint at all. See that dispersion starting to leak on average a little bit more to the right with the 8 degree rather than the 875, which we'll touch on in a minute. But the strike was definitely better, more centered, and if anything above the equator with the 8 degree setting, which I really liked. Everything else fairly similar, to be fair, on that. So yeah, I mean, it's really, apart from the launch and spin, which again is not too dissimilar, launch a little bit higher when it comes to the 8 degree, which was just strike related, which I do not mind at all. On average, the distance was pretty much bang on the same. So with the dispersion being slightly more right-sided on average with the 8 degree, you would obviously argue that 8.75 is better. However, the strike being better with the 8 degree, plus the fact that there's more potential distance, if me and Geraint had a bit of chat off camera and working on a bit of release things, if you can get that face a little bit more square with that 8 degree, square it up, the launch and spin will become better, the distance will become better, strike was obviously better. So we're going to leave it at 8 degrees, so it's A2 setting for now. It's going to go away, play for a while, work on that. It's going to feed back to me how it's going on course, and then we can work together down the line to see how it's going. If you're still struggling, leaking it a little bit further right than we'd like, I'll maybe get him to notch it back up to 8.75, just close that face a little bit. But all in all, really happy with those results. Geraint was really happy as well. So yeah, all in all, I think successful fitting, successful follow-up, and hopefully it'll really help him out on course. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.